Hi, this is Stephen McHugh. I'm sitting in my allotment again today, just enjoying, just enjoying it really. A bit of an impromptu one this time. I hadn't planned it. My phone buzzed, and somebody had left a message on Facebook, and basically he said, in fact, it was my brother, Ian. Basically said he was listening to a song, and that it's a very, I think it's a quite emotional song too. And he said he was welling up, and it kind of got me thinking about a lot said about dyslexics and strong sense of empathy and high emotional intelligence, and which, you know, it's a fab thing to, these are fab things that to have such empathy and to have a high emotional intelligence. But like with everything dyslexic, I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword. I think it can make us vulnerable to mental health issues, to difficulties with self-confidence and self-esteem. If we think about at school, dyslexics as a whole receive more criticism at school than non-dyslexic kids. You know, that impacts on self-confidence, self-esteem, and that must impact on our mental health. But then we think about it in terms of, as far as I can see, many dyslexics tend to be like the agony aunt of their friend group. If a friend has a problem, they will go to the person who is dyslexic, maybe knowingly or not knowingly, and the dyslexic will be generally be there for that person. Their empathy and their emotional intelligence will make it practically impossible for them not to get involved. That in itself can be overwhelming, because we're taking on and taking on and taking on so much stuff that again impacts on our mental health. Then the other side of the coin is, I don't think many dyslexics actually talk about or have the opportunity to talk about the way they're feeling about things. Or are we not very good sharers? We're very good at being shared to, but not very good at being shared out. We're not very good at sharing our feelings with others. I think mainly because there is a degree of vulnerability. I think many of us feel vulnerable. Many dyslexics feel vulnerable. And again, that goes back to school, where, you know, we are, every day we go into school and we're put into a vulnerable position with being asked to do things that we can generally struggle with. I do remember it from handwriting at school, you know, being very vulnerable when trying to handwrite in front of all the other kids, and you get the idea. I get the idea. I remember putting my arm around the piece of paper and then bending over with my pen. I don't know if you could see that, and trying to hide what I was writing, and then making sure after I'd written something that I turned it over. I think I guess what I'm trying to say is that dyslexia, it does come with many positives, but there is a double-edged sword. You know, especially when it comes to the mental health and the emotional intelligence. There is a double-edged sword, and there is not enough support for people, dyslexics, for their mental health. Most of the support that's available concentrates on the academic. Anyway, so that's longer than I anticipated. I hope it makes some kind of sense. It's a bit impromptu, and it was impromptu by a message from my brother. Still, I'm kind of here at my allotment, and still I've got the beauty around me. I find it quite restful. Anyway, so that's enough from me for today. Thank you very much. Bye.